I want you to panic. And I'll tell you why. This is our old kitty. He's 16 years old. His name is Jeevers. Say hi, Jeevers. Look at Jeevers. Say hi. Hi. Hi to the people. Yeah. And my idea that you panic, I don't want you to panic for, weeks or months at a time or even days at a time. I want you to panic for a day or something like a day or half a day or a couple hours. I want you to panic so you can break that normalcy bias, because our lives are changing right now before our eyes. I got a list of a few things that I'm doing that I'll share with you. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I mean, basically, we're all going to be on our own because here in the USA, our government isn't acting appropriately to stop this virus. And investors obviously are responding by selling their investments because they know what's coming. Or maybe it's more they don't know what's coming. I mean, this is a shock to everybody's system and a shock to everybody's thinking. And they're starting to take actions that they don't normally take. The United States has been living high on the hog, and we're running low on hog. At risk of making myself a target, because people, when they get desperate, they do desperate things. These are the three things that I'm doing on my own for myself and the people that are living in this house under this roof to plan for the next couple of weeks of being rather chaotic. The first one is my last check as I cashed, and I kept some of it as cash. And I want that cash in my pocket because I'm not quite sure if the stores are going to accept my credit cards or the checks that I have. I mean, I don't know. I just want some cash so I have the ability to be flexible with payment. And even if it's $50, that might mean the difference between having some good meals in the next couple of weeks or not. So I've got some cash, and I'm getting close to $300. I want to keep that money as cash in my pocket for meals. I don't want to spend it unless I really need to. I want to hold it as long as possible. The next thing is to stock up a little bit on food that has calories. What not to buy is sugary drinks, and don't buy alcohol. We don't want to loosen up our brain with alcohol right now. Matter of fact, there's some studies out there that talks about how alcohol or drinking some of these sugary drinks is actually going to open your cells up to receive these viruses easier, or something on that order. I'm not a medical person, so I can't explain it to you, but there's a lot of reports about this virus that I've read, and nothing has been positive other than the nations that are beginning to control it. They lock down everything. They lock down their entire economy. Nobody can see anybody. That's the only way they're controlling it. That's the only positive, and man, that isn't even a positive. So calories like peanut butter and potatoes, food that has body, canned meats if you can get a hold of them. So you want to spend some money on stocking up a little bit. Try to get 3-4 weeks worth of food in your house if you don't have any. Going overboard and doing some hoarding if it's there, well, I don't really blame anyone for having those feelings and for doing it, but they're going to have to share with somebody somewhere down the road if this thing really tightens up. I almost have the feeling that it's probably a good thing for a lot of people in an area to be hoarding and buying more than normal to get the flow of food coming in their direction. So we have these semi-trucks with food all going all over across the country, and if there's a place where all the food is sold out, they'll be calling. When a squeaky wheel gets the grease, they'll be calling for more food, so the trucks will be heading in that direction. So that's over the top, I know, and maybe hard to think about, but that's a thought I had. And the third thing is I've been talking about this now I've been talking about this since 2011 or 2012 on my YouTube account, but I'm really starting to put up some videos doing some simple explanations now to somebody who is a experienced gardener or already has plans in place, has thought about this a lot. Maybe I can polish you up a little bit. Probably not, though. I'm kind of targeting people who are going to be feeling a little desperate in terms of they want to start a garden now. And I just put a video up on gardening concepts, just to get a concept down in your mind first before you just go out there and start doing things. I mean, your mind is going to be kind of in a panic, and you're probably going to arrange these elements that's not going to make a lot of sense, and you'll have to redo it later. So some of these videos, I'm hoping that you get an idea. Well, these elements all should have some flow, and you got to count your steps. If let's say you're going to get some chickens, put up a chicken coop. You don't want to have that chicken coop be on the farthest part of your property, because you got to visit that chicken coop twice a day, and you count all those steps twice a day. That's a lot. So this is what I'm talking about, to arrange the elements so that things flow very easy. And there are some things where even you can design them so that they flow on their own. Use gravity, use sunlight. You know what the track of the sun is, so you want to have your crops getting sun. You want to know where the cold wind, or if you're in an arid climate, where the hot winds are coming from, and you want to shelter your gardens from the cold or the hot winds. So these are videos that I'm beginning to put up to highlight how to start this thing. I'm not doing this, I'm not a person who helps people for money out and about. Right now I've socially isolated myself. I don't want to see or talk to anybody other than the people that are in this house right now. And if I do, the last time I snuck out was the 13th, and I went to a real small store that had one car in the parking lot, and they were walking out as I was getting out of my car. So I was in the store by myself for this time that I was there, and I was careful to stay away from the cashier. 6 feet, they're saying. So and I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out and help anybody. I don't want, to get paid to go do design work or to help somebody get a garden, because I'm isolating. And I've done it once in my whole permaculture career. I got paid for a design. I'm just not out for that type of a situation. But I want to be helpful on YouTube. And another thing is, I don't want to be a leader. If you want to see or know what I'm thinking, here's my YouTube account. And there's not a lot of people following me, so it isn't like I'm going to be some big YouTube star. There's a lot of people who are also doing this, and they're a lot more polished than I am. It's just, if you happen to blunder into my account, into some of my videos, I just want to explain what we're doing. And I'll explain why you should panic now and break out of that normalcy bias. So, well, that's enough video this time. We'll see what I come up with tomorrow. Alright, thanks for watching. Here's a tip to get a lot of food for cheap. You go to a feed mill and you buy a 100-pound sack of corn. And you don't want to get the seed corn that's been inoculated or anything. You just want bare, regular corn. And there's a process called nixing or nixtamellation. And you soak the corn with wood ashes, and the wood ashes dissolves the coating on the corn, and the corn swells up. And that's a very cheap way to make some food. I'm also experimenting on fermenting beans. I'm going to ferment some corn as well. So that is a high calorie food source that's really cheap. 100-pound sack is like $10, $12 or something, and that'll go a long way.